Ooh. Broadcast is live.
I don't see it live on LinkedIn, but I imagine it's...
Yeah, it might take a moment. Maybe if Vito or yourself can just verify once it pops up there.
Yeah, I've got the LinkedIn window open.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool. Here we are. Spaces in that space. Ready to rumble.
I think there's a delay because it's showing stuff right now in LinkedIn that I'm not doing.
Okay, yeah, that tends to. In case it takes a little moment to catch up. So I guess we can probably even start now. Okay, well let's wait a little bit, give people a chance to come in. I would have just got their notifications.
Yeah, I would give it a few minutes.
Okay, just greeting to anyone who has joined so far. We're just waiting for a few more to pop in, and then we'll jump into things. Shall we? It's just gone time now. Cool.
Hey.
Hey, Wojtek.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to get started. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Happy Thursday to all. Thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. I know time is quite a resource today. Today, we're going to do something really fun. We're going to give a sneak peek of a new feature that Magma will be releasing to the public next week called Artspaces. We're very excited about this new feature, and I'm very excited that Ryan is here to give you all a preview of the power that Artspaces can bring to you as a individual artist, and also to the companies or schools where you may work. Magma really is about collaboration, and we have built what we believe is truly the greatest artistic collaboration platform on the market today. One of the things that differentiates Magma from other products is that we are actually built by artists for artists. Our technology has been in development since 2016. We have over 1.5 million registered users, and we're able to take that data, all of our learnings, and the love that comes from the artists who use our platform to build new features and to bring all of you new features. And again, that's what we're here and very excited to talk about today. We're going to be talking about our new Artspaces feature, which allows you to collaborate and communicate with artists, coworkers, colleagues, friends all over the globe. We're super excited about the functionality. And Ryan here is going to take you through that through this warm-up. As our invitation said, athletes warm up, everybody warms up, artists need to warm up too. So we're going to spend a little time today warming up our drawing chops on Magma's fabulous new Artspaces tool with Ryan. And with that, I will turn it over to Ryan. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Thank you very much for that, Evan. Alrighty, let's jump straight into it. Just for those of you who aren't familiar with Magma yet, I'm just going to show you what you're going to see when you first sign up, log in to Magma, and that's going to be your art desk. And this is kind of like your private space where you have your private artworks. As much as Magma is very much about collaboration, you also have that space where you can just work on things privately, invite people to join you in a private space. But then the exciting things happen with our art spaces, right? So on the left here, we have a couple of icons. The very top one is going to be for your art desk, and just below that will be any art spaces that you're a part of. You might notice a little plus symbol over here, and that'll give you the option coming soon to create your own art spaces that you can invite people to. So if you have particular projects or particular groups of friends that you keep together and you want to keep together in a certain kind of space, then this is a great way to create that community. And that's going to be coming live on just with Lightbox, actually. So this is something that's been tested out for a little while. We've had people a part of the beta program, and now we're quite excited that it's ready to roll out. So once you go over to a space, once you've created one, or if you're a part of one already, you'll be able to invite people from here where you have the name of the art space. You'll have this drop down and an option to invite users, or down below where it says what users are already a part of it, there's another plus symbol there, and you can invite people to join the art space. Yeah, so you can create different folders, different projects under here, and organize your entire workspace. So if you've got a team working on different aspects of a project, then you can easily organize that in here in the same way you would in your normal file management system. You can create folders, divvy things up accordingly. So if we scroll down here, we've got a specific project set up for our Magma warmups. So here we'll be able to either create new folders or create a new canvas. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that. You can create canvases up to 8K, but for the purpose of this, we don't really need to go that big. So I'm just going to go with a high-res square here at 4K, which is plenty. And here we are on the canvas. Now, just before we get into the tools and stuff that are here, at the bottom we have the storyboard feature where you can set up kind of a string of multiple canvases. This is nice if you want to keep some reference off to one side. But yeah, let's get talking about some tools. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do today? I mean, I know we've got people here of varying skill levels, but for the beginners who sometimes sit at your desk and don't know what to draw, this is quite a good way to get started. For me, I like to do this as a way to just loosen up the head and the hands to get ready for a day of drawing. So, okay. One of my favorite tools, you've got the usual suspects that you would find in most other programs, right? You've got your brush, your pencil, and we have a range of different brushes, from a few really simple inking type brushes, hard and soft, to a whole lot of textured ones as well. What we're going to work with now is actually, now let's start with this. So we're drawing rocks, right? Celebrating kind of Rocktober. And this might seem like a very simple object to choose, and this is usually how I go about it. I choose a simple object, something like swords, spoons, a teapot, anything that's close at hand if I'm not sure. But rocks are really cool, because you can create all these different kind of variations of those. And I'm going to first just set this canvas to not be so white. The white canvas is always intimidating. So I'm just going to pick a sort of light gray, change that over. Okay, so when you're getting started, of course, you could take just a really simple round brush and sketch something out. If you're going to do, oh, okay, I can't see that. It's good. Change that color. Okay, so you can obviously sketch out some random shapes. Rocks are very varied in their form, but this can take a bit of time, a little bit of unnecessary time. I want to play with shapes really fast, so instead of using the normal brush tool, I'm going to use the lasso fill, which you'll find over here just underneath your gradient, so your paint bucket. Now, with this, like with the lasso tool, you can just draw out a shape, but what this does is fill it out at the same time while you're busy. You stop midway through, automatically closes it. So this is a really quick way to start building up shapes on your canvas. So I'm going to pick let's pick a bit of a dark color here. Hello, Gillian. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so getting started, I kind of want to get rid of all the very obvious, the basic kind of shapes that first come to mind if you think of a rock, this sort of squarish kind of thing. So I'm just going to make a rough sort of shape there. Now, there's no planes or anything. I'm just thinking about silhouettes, right? Let's do something a little bit more square than that. This becomes easy to make shadows and planes with. That was not square at all. Okay, so you can do a whole lot of square things, something that's a bit more stepped, which is really just a sequence of squares or rectangles, right? And maybe I'll do something more triangular or pyramidal. And that's what I'm thinking about here. I'm just thinking of variations of the same kind of thing. And rocks are great because they can look an infinite number of ways. So obviously this might not look like a rock right now, but as soon as you start giving it form with some lighting, then things start to get interesting. So what if this had a bit of a wavy sort of shape to it? Okay, that's cool. Maybe something like a taller rectangle, something like a bit more of a column. I'll just do a whole lot of, just do a full canvas of these things, just to start loosening up. Let's do something that's a bit more top heavy. And obviously I'm just drawing this at the moment without lifting my pen at all, just creating like a single shape. But you can obviously draw a shape and be like, okay, cool, I want to have a bit of a base here, a step here, and just build up a whole lot of these. But now to start getting these looking like rocks, we need to start adding some lighting, giving it form. And the best way to do that is with planes and lighting. And okay, so what we need with that, we're going to need obviously some different tones, and we need to decide on a light source. So I'll just set the kind of top left here as my light sources. Let's do it like that. And now, okay, so we're going to go with the dark tone instead of from what we have here. And just start doing exactly the same thing, just blocking out some shapes. There's the shapes do some weird things as I'm busy with this. right? And just start doing this for all of my shapes, just to give it a bit of a shadow. Oops, add a little step here. And this doesn't have to be perfect at all, right? We're just playing around, just trying to get an idea. So this is just a warm up. You don't have to, you're not trying to create any masterpieces. It's just to start getting you thinking about shapes, about lighting, about form. And this can be as simple or as complex as you like. Right? So it's nice to just kind of start with those squarish shapes. Okay, but now to speed this up a little bit, right, I'm going to be switching over between dark, between lights, and a midtone. And what Magma's got that's really cool here is this set of kind of tool presets just underneath your color wheel, where you can have different settings applied for tools that you can easily switch between using the keys on your keypad. So what I like to do is have my 1 as my shadow, which should change color in a moment now. 2 will be my midtone, which is this, and then 3 I'll set as my light tone. It's maybe a little too light. And now I can easily switch between them as I go. If I decide that I've put something in that I just don't like, okay, cool, I'll just come in here and fix that up with my midtone again. So this really helps to just speed things up. It makes it a lot faster to have these presets set and just bounce around between them. The other nice thing is if you've got your lasso fill tool selected, I'm just going to go to one that's not one of my main settings. You'll notice there's this setting here called auto erase mode, and this is so nice. This really makes shape carving so quick and easy. Now, if I hold in E for my eraser, that's the hotkey for eraser in most drawing software, you can just carve out a piece. It's essentially reverse. It's like a reverse fill, but I'm still holding down E while I do this. And I can just cut away. And then as soon as I release, it switches back to the tool I had active prior to that. So let's just do it again. Push and hold E, carve it away, and it immediately is back to the tool I had before. Didn't have to do anything. So that's really nice. This is what I encourage you guys to kind of play with now. And you can do this for anything. Obviously, rocks is quite an easy thing to do, but if you really want to be drawing swords or coffee mugs, exactly the same thing. Just taking the base shape, the obvious shape that everyone would think of if you told them what it is, like a spoon, just a simple like little rectangle and an oval, and then start playing around with what those could be. Just let's go with that example of a spoon actually. So yes, it was just this one sort of oval and another oval. We could make it more squarish and put a circle in, something that has a bit more detail. There we go. So yeah, this is kind of the approach I like to take, just for very quickly getting down basic shapes. And maybe from here I'll decide that cool, there's something here I want to play with a bit more, and then I'll start getting into details. But I'll spend a good half an hour to an hour, even if I'm really just struggling to wake up and get started with my day, just doing this. And if you ever struggle with art block, which I'm sure a lot of us do, then this is a good way to kind of snap out of that. So we've got quite a few people joining us on Canvas. It's great. Maybe I should make some space. I'm hogging a bit here. If you guys have any questions, then please feel free in the chats just to let us know. I'll clear out some of this. Whoops, that's the wrong key. And now, obviously, I've been doing this without any reference, right? I kind of have an idea of what a basic rock looks like. So I'm just going off of that. But what you can do. It's always good to have reference. So I'm just going to grab something I've got saved on my system, and I'm just going to drop it into the canvas here. I love the shape of this. It's so weird. And a strange, very strange sort of top-heavy thing going here. Zoom in a bit. So you can use this as well if you want to make it a bit bigger, perhaps. You can color pick from it, or whatever you please. Right, so now obviously I want to start looking at some real-world examples of what's out there. Doesn't have to be copied to the T, but if you're learning, want to figure out textures and play with the shapes, then yeah, try and recreate it. So you get some fun piles of rocks going up here. And where there are rocks, there are dogs. Cool. Thanks everyone for joining in on the canvas and not just leaving me here on my own. All right. Okay. So I'm going to get stuck into things here. Can't really see where that's placed. I generally prefer to have my reference up on a separate screen. So let's do it. Okay. Huh. Okay. Just if you're wondering about how to place your lights and darks after you've created this random shape on the canvas, use the edges as a bit of a guide. So, typically you're going to have a vertical line. Keeping to the simplest form. It's let me zoom in here. Create a basic shape. Okay, so I know that I've got this point here, and in theory that's touching the ground and it's closest to me. There's always going to be a line going up, and there are going to be two lines going either away from me or they're coming towards me. In this case, because that point is the closest point of the rock to me, these two are going away. And then from here, same sort of thing. We know there's a line going up, there's one going away, so there's going to be another one that's coming towards me or going further away. In this case, it would be coming closer, and you create your planes sort of like that. So I've just used a pencil just to give an example, but if we just go straight to our shapes, I know that this side is turned away from the light, so that's going to be darker. This side is obviously on top, is going to be receiving the most light. Let's say maybe there's another shelf here, picking up a little bit more. So yeah, you can just use the edges of your form to show you what the shape should look like. This is a really cool thing you can do with, obviously you can use Magma do this on your own, but if you're working perhaps in a studio environment, maybe a nice way to start the day, just with a simple exercise, or to work on ideas for other things, particularly if you're trying to keep something within the same style and same shape language. It can be helpful to just be on the same canvas together, working through it in real time. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back to this. I'm actually seeing what's going on the rest of the canvas. It's so zoomed in. I like how that head's being pulled out of this reference image. Okay. So I'm going to clear out some things here because I've hogged the space again. Hello. Oh, I know what I've done. Cool, now there's a little bit more space for others to join in. That's not the color I wanted. So yeah, when you're building up stuff like this, it's really just looking at the different shapes, looking at the changes in the planes, just carving away and building up as you go. Do you have any questions from the chat? So while I'm busy looking at the canvas, not really paying attention to what's going on in the chat. And once you've got those basic shapes down, you can always, if you want to keep building on top of them or whatever shape you've got, you can create a new layer on top of it, and then create your clipping mask so that any brushwork that you do stays. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard here. It stays within that flat shape that you've drawn. So that's the basics of it. I'm going to just be quiet and draw for a little bit, I suppose. Your microphone. see Brickcaster started a voice call on the canvas. So that's another interesting thing, if you're not aware of it, that you can host voice calls, not just chat, not just text chat, right from your canvas. That's really nice if you want to have a meeting, more dynamic meeting that's not tied to Zoom. Then you can just host your meetings in here and give feedback right here on the canvas without having to do this back and forth of emails. So I think generally when there's some lag, that's going to be local. The rest of the users shouldn't really be experiencing that, unless, of course, in this case, you're showing the screen. The other thing that one can do here is, speaking of things happening locally, is that you can flip your canvas around. This button at the top, it's the fourth one from the right. And I flipped my canvas, but it doesn't affect any of the other users at all. For them, they're still viewing things as they were before. It's just me that's getting to see my canvas getting flipped around, so I can check what's going on. Obviously, these edges where there's cracks going down the rock are probably picking up a little bit of that. Yeah, it'd be great to hear if anyone else has got some particular morning routines that they do when they're getting started with their drawing for the day before they get stuck into the real work. Let's do something slightly. What have I done? Oh, yes. Cool, yeah, I think we'll do another 15 minutes or so of This maybe a little more. We could also start playing around a bit with textured brushes here. You create a new layer, create a clipping mask, and then dabble with some of our textured brushes over here. Let's see what we've got. This splotchy one's quite entertaining. A nice new feature in here is that you can, if you and your settings change through to the full mode, here you can also, if you only want to have one column visible, you can also do that. Give a bit more room. But if you set to full mode, you'll have some additional settings here. And one that is quite nice, well, these last two in particular, is having a bit of color jitter and then background, foreground jitter going as well. So if you want to just randomize a little bit the stamping of light and dark, or the two different colors you've got set, then this is a very nice way to do that. So, and you can have that, you can have it do this based on how much pressure you're applying, or you can just have it fixed. Let's get my two columns back here. I'll come into this layer. So just to demonstrate, take this thick brush. Okay, let's make it a bit darker. So you notice how it's creating this bit of jitter between my foreground and background colors over here. Very nice to just get a bit of randomness going on your objects. So if you're wondering about how to invite other people to your canvas, it's quite straightforward. Under the file on the top left, you have this copy drawing link over here. Once you click it, it automatically goes through to your clipboard, and then you can paste it in a chat or in a new post if you're inviting people on social media to join you, or other team members when you're scheduling a meeting, that kind of thing. It's quite nice. So you can play with the brightness, saturation, and of course the hue as well. Just play with the hue here. You can see how it bounces around between a few different colors. So you're right. Quickly add some texture to your rocks. That's one way to go about it. That's what I'm going to do now. Let's do this. The size of it, drop the opacity here. A little bit of brightness jitter. I might just drop the overall layer opacity of this just to dial it back, because it can be a bit strong. Obviously, because I have the clipping mask, it's all staying staying within my shape. How long have we been going here? Okay. So we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this canvas open. I see the message. So if you want to keep working on this, you want to keep playing with the, keep playing with your study here. Keep working on the reference. Then please go ahead. The link will be shared. And you're welcome to jump back into this canvas as well, either tomorrow or whenever you've got some free time. We'll keep it active. That's what's going on. Oh, that's way too strong. But I was losing half my head here to the blurred background.
I just wanted to let everyone know that we're going to be wrapping up in about 3 to 5 minutes. Wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. I know I feel warmed up and inspired, ready to attack my creative day now. As we noted in the chat, we'll be keeping this canvas live. We hope you are able to jump in and check it out. If you're looking for any information about Magma, I'd be happy to answer any questions either now or offline. I'm here on LinkedIn and just really, really excited you were able to spend some time with us today. Thank you.
Thanks, Evan. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining, making me not feel so alone on the canvas. Let's have a look at what's been going on. Whoa, there's some really cool stuff going on here. Awesome work. yeah, so we are planning to do more events like this. This is just the first. We're kind of testing it out, but you can stay tuned to our social media channels if you want to know when we do more of them. You can find magma.com on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can also join our Discord server. Perhaps Vito, if you can throw a link to our Discord server for those who aren't on there yet. And if you are heading to Lightbox, you will find Magma there too. We'll have a booth, and we have a few guests who will be joining us, doing some demos, telling us a bit about their story. So we hope to see you there. Well, I won't be there, unfortunately. I'm on the other side of the world. For some reason, I cannot add the Discord link over here. If Vitek or Vito or Wojtek, if one of you are able to maybe drop that in there. Great, thanks, Wojtek. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We're going to wrap it up now and hope to see you all soon. Again, the canvas will be active for a while, so feel free to carry on here or plug in on another time when you've got some free time available. And yeah, hope you all have a very, very creative day and a good weekend. Ciao for now.